Welcome back to the educational vids. We're gonna do a vid today trying to explain a bit about the macro, where I see Bitcoin is going. Is it a good time to get in? Is it a good time to degen in? Is it a good time to be patient, to wait? So I'm gonna explain a bit about that today in the correlation with the US markets. The people that have been following me for a while now, they already know a lot of what I'm going to explain today. To the new followers, I'm going to make a vid to try to explain you guys how to level yourself up as a trader, as an investor. The blue line, this is the NASDAQ, the yellow line is Bitcoin, and as you can see, we've always been very correlated to the NASDAQ. As you can see over here, the NASDAQ went up and we also waited a bit, and then we jumped up and we were over here, and over here we topped out together and came back. So you have to see it like this. If you're watching this chart, you just know that Wall Street is ruling the Bitcoin price. And I know a lot of people will give me a lot of hate and this and that and AMB. But listen, guys, I like to debate anyone on my analysis, but when you do, just come with facts and arguments. Don't talk to me with FOMO or just dreams and hopiums and etc. That's not my style, it's not my thing. I just come with the things that I see on the chart. So we were very correlated. What happened over here is over here somewhere, I think we got the FUD, the FTX FUD. So over here the NASDAQ took off and we stayed behind. And now what I wanted to show you guys, what is very important, is when the FUD ended, we made a nice jump up. So we went really up from the 26k to the 37k levels. So a lot of people say, wait a minute, we're going. No, I don't agree. I really do not agree. And why don't I agree? Because as you can see over here, the NASDAQ made the pump up. This is a strong bounce. This is a very strong bounce on the weekly. And what are we seeing on Bitcoin? We're seeing it's a lot of people say Bitcoin is front running the NASDAQ. I don't agree with that. It's Bitcoin is following the NASDAQ. That's how it works, because you cannot compare the NASDAQ with Bitcoin. With all due respect, it's just no match. So the NASDAQ pumped up and Bitcoin just followed it, and now we're seeing a little bit of a curve, and we're seeing also a curve on Bitcoin. Is this a coincidence? No, it's not a coincidence. I keep telling you, Wall Street rules the Bitcoin price. Either you like it or not, Wall Street rules the Bitcoin price. So if you really want to believe that Bitcoin is going to make new highs and new all-time highs, etc., you also have to believe that the NASDAQ will make new all-time highs. And that's something that I'm eyeing. I'm spending a lot of hours analyzing and charting and doing my research on this. So if you believe that Bitcoin is going to make new all-time highs on the midterm, you also have to believe that the NASDAQ is going to make a new all-time high. So let me just show you the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ over here, guys, look at it. On the weekly, we are like 4% from all-time high. 4%. We've got the Fed is done. Probably we're not gonna get any rate hikes anymore, and so we got inflation numbers that were positive. They're like coming down. In my opinion, we're going into a stagflation area, but I've been calling that for March. But who gives a damn what MB says? But I said in March we're going into stagflation. Well, we are in stagflation. So for now, this rise over here, are we going to break this up? Are those degens, those AI stock degens, gonna pump this up and make new highs over here? If this happens, I agree, we will get a lot more bumps on Bitcoin and crypto and altcoins. I agree. But what if we made, this is the all-time high, we made this lower high, and now we're making a higher high. And what if this thing decides to correct a bit? Because it's about time that this thing will come correct again, because we're gonna get a lot of earnings the coming months, weeks, and this will also have a big impact on the market. So what if what if we just made a lower high? Because if you would use this on the macro, this is a high and this is a high, and we made a lower high, and we'll come back to retest those levels. What if? Because we are in pretty overbought regions over here, even we're reaching all-time high levels. So if this thing comes back, what do you think Bitcoin will do? Will Bitcoin pump up in correlated to the NASDAQ? I don't believe so. I don't think so. As long as Wall Street is ruling the Bitcoin price, if Wall Street will decide to go down, I think that Bitcoin will also come down. It has almost always been that way in the past. Why should this time should it be different? So that's something very important to keep an eye on. The market leader, Nvidia. They had the earnings yesterday after market close. Very optimistic, very good figures, very good earnings. Only the China numbers were a bit not so bullish, but keep an eye on this, guys. Over here was the previous earnings of Nvidia, and those were the best earnings I've ever seen in my life on a company. And what happened after it? We came back, we retraced a bit. So these earnings were not as great as those ones, but what is going to happen now? And this is something very important to keep an eye on today. Is Nvidia going to pump up and make even newer highs? And this will take the NASDAQ to new all-time highs for sure, or will it also retrace a bit and come down? So I'm pretty bearish on the financial markets, but everyone knows this for me. I think that we just made that we need a healthy correction, and especially on Nvidia, and these are the regions that I'm eyeing, the 350 levels, and maybe even lower, maybe even to the 300. So I think that Nvidia needs a healthy correction, and from there on make new all-time highs, and maybe even go to $1,000, because I think that Nvidia is a great company, and I think that they will do like crazy. But MB, who gives a damn? We are in here for crypto. We don't care about Nvidia. Well, we should care about Nvidia, because Nvidia is ruling the NASDAQ, and the NASDAQ is ruling the Bitcoin price. So you get me why I'm so interested in these charts, why I'm checking them, because these are the reasons why. Let me explain, because these are the reasons why I sold over here. I ran all this FOMO up, I made a lot of money, and I sold over here. Why did I sell over here? Because I had some crystal ball? I saw the future? No. I sold over here because of this chart. This is why I sold over here. And that's why, for me, the American markets, what Wall Street is doing, is for me the most important part of my analysis. And you can even think about it this way. It even rules how I trade altcoins, how I trade, like the team when I share. Should they short? Should they long? Should they hold? Should they be patient? Should they accumulate? Should they buy? So it's also how I manage to make charts on altcoins. They are all my trader feed on buy zones, from which almost all retailers are telling me, MB, it's impossible that altcoin will get that low into that buy zone. Well, I told them, just put in your buy orders, and then we'll talk a bit later. And what you think? 70% of those buy zones get hit. Those retailers were shocked. My buy order has gotten hit. How is it even possible? They couldn't even dream of those buy levels. And they made their rise and they made their gains. So, and how did I manage to make those predictions? Based on the American markets. They are the ones showing me the way. And we had the FTX FUD and a lot of other FUD. That's the reason why this is where it went wrong over here. So over here the NASDAQ just came up, and the NASDAQ came up, and Bitcoin didn't do a lot. But now it's the question is now, suppose that this thing comes down. This thing will probably also come down, but at some point we have to get together again, just like here, just like here, just like here. And there are only two ways for that to happen. Is that Bitcoin needs to consolidate and not dump, and the NASDAQ needs to come down hard. That's when we will meet. That's how we will meet again. So that's why, try to understand why. And another excuse me. Another chart that's very, very important also in this process is the DXY. And I know I'm the DXY man. The past 2 years, nobody charted the DXY more than me and nailed all the targets on the DXY. We got the green box over here. It's bouncing from here. So if it bounces up to this line again, the markets will do very bad. The markets will do very bad. And if we will lose this level over here, we come down, this is where we can expect that the NASDAQ and the US markets will even rise more. So this is a very, very important level to watch. And if we will hit over here, well, we're probably going into some buy zones again. So guys, I think it's enough for today. I'm gonna make another vid about altcoins and from which buy zones I'm eyeing and which altcoins I'm gonna buy. I tweeted today about Pith. I did some research on it. It looks like a hell of a project. So it's a new project, and I will be charting it and trading it a lot. We will be trading it on the TG Open Free TG group, on the Maxi Global group. So have a nice one, give it a like, and bye bye.